Entertainment Watchdog here, and I'm back talking about Star Wars The Bad Batch, Season 2, Episode 14, and my thoughts on this episode. I think it's an okay episode, a lot better than last week's episode, but still not feeling it, still not completely enjoying it. Listen, there are things I liked about this episode, and I love the fact we're getting a more of an evolutionized Empire. I love the fact the Stormtroopers are becoming a lot more, they're a lot more involved now in security. It's not just a couple of Stormtroopers and a bunch of clones. It's now a bunch of Stormtroopers and rarely any clones. So I'm liking that aspect. And the whole, Empire, turning from a Republic to the Empire. I do like that. But my problem is with the entire main story. I just think the Empire's reaction, the Empire's, what they try to do with the clones, it just doesn't make sense. And it is way out of left field. Because, I'll get to that in spoilers, but George Lucas did it better. Okay, he did. The whole uprising from Kamino, it makes sense why Palpatine would then focus more on recruiting, normal human soldiers than relying on clone troopers. So I don't know why they couldn't have just done that story. It's 100 times better than what they're trying with this. But I guess we have to deal with what Lucasfilm sends us. So basically, what would I give this episode out of 10? 6. I did enjoy parts, and again, having Crosshair, when you bring Crosshair in, the episode is just great, because Crosshair adds so much to an episode. He's the fucking gruff soldier who wants to fight, and that's what you liked about him. He didn't take no bullshit. And when you see Crosshair, you see the Empire, and that's another big thing about that. So I think it was still a big mistake for this show to focus on Omega. I think that's probably why nobody really talks about Bad Batch anymore. Because it just feels, doesn't really feel like Star Wars. Doesn't feel like Clone Wars. It just feels like a really boring show most of the time. So 6 out of 10 from me. And let's get into spoilers now. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, leave in 3, 2, 1. So the episode starts off with a bunch of stormtroopers escorting clone prisoners to a ship. And turns out this ship is a prison transport, and they are now transporting multiple clones to the science facility controlled by Hemlock. And this is somehow one way the Empire is trying to deal with its clone problem. Which is still stupid, because why would the Empire want to get rid of their best soldiers? For no reason. Absolutely no reason has been given to why they are getting rid of the clones this quick. I mean, they've mentioned the aging process, but yes, but why are you doing it this fast? 4 years, that makes sense then to get rid of the clones, because they would start aging. But you still have the cloning facilities, so why would you not just clone a bunch more? So they haven't really, and I mean really, explained why the Empire has just decided we're going to get rid of the clone army. That's why I say George Lucas' version with the uprising makes sense. And this kind of doesn't. Anyway, so the captain of the ship tells the stormtrooper to take off. Again, I don't like this. Just because you want to save money, you're just going to have stormtroopers piloting ships now. Why not have an Imperial pilot do it? Or why not have the first appearance of the black Imperial pilot gear, shown in this episode? I don't know why you have to waste. I don't know why you can't just do that one simple thing to make it more authentic than just saying, well, every pilot can just wear stormtrooper uniform. It's just dumb and lazy. Anyway, so the ship takes off. They head to the planet where, what's his name again? Hemlock is, and before they can go to warp, a ship appears and starts attacking them. Turns out this is a bunch of renegade clones led by Echo, and they're there to rescue the clones held hostage by the Empire. So they attack the ship. They manage to disable it. They get on the ship and then start, beating the crap out of the stormtroopers. I enjoyed the fact that we're seeing more of the stormtroopers, as I said before, and the fact they've now changed their blaster bolt colours from blue to red. And again, someone can say this is a pretty small detail. I don't think it is, because you are trying to see the evolution of the Empire. You're seeing the stormtroopers appear more often, and changing the blaster bolt colour makes sense. So I enjoyed that. So Echo and his team of clones take over the ship, wipe out the stormtrooper garrison on the ship, and when this clone trooper questions the captain of the ship, he pretty much commits suicide, and they then have to download all the information from the ship's record to find out where they were taking all these other clone prisoners. But unfortunately, before the captain committed suicide and before the clones were able to take over the ship, the clone commando wipes most of the computer files. So the the clones have to try to, they've got to find someone to help them. They're going to download what they can from the computer, and then they need to find somebody to help them fix all the information they've lost from the deleted files. So they abandon ship because an Imperial Venator turns up, launches a bunch of V-Wing fighters, and I do like how this feels like a Star Destroyer launching TIE fighters, again showing you how the Republic is now the Empire, and giving us that little bit of nostalgia of the past. I don't mind that, I think that's good. So, the V-Wings are attacking, the the clone ship detaches from the Imperial ship, and they leg it and warp out of there, leaving the Empire with nothing, basically. And then we go back to Hemlock's facility, where we see Crosshair, who is being tortured for information about the Bad Batch. He won't give up his brothers because he does still care about them, and when the Doctor offers him freedom, just give me, her location, or give me their location, and I'll let you go. Crosshair will still not do it, so the Doctor pretty much tells the scientist to keep torturing him until he tells him what he wants to know. And then we get a message from Tarkin to Hemlock, and Tarkin's pretty much annoyed about the attack on the Imperial shuttle, and tells Hemlock to have plans ready to destroy the facility if it's found out or its location is revealed. Hemlock says the plan's already in motion, they're ready if it turns out the clones find out where they are. And when Hemlock mentions to Tarkin, you need to start sending me more clones, because Tarkin also tells him that he thinks there's clone traitors still in the ranks of the Imperial Army, and they don't know who they can trust. So Hemlock says you've got to start sending more of the clones to me. Don't just fire them from the army. Let's just kill them, basically, and get rid of them for good. Now, I think this is a stupid thing for the Empire to do, because if the clones ever find out that you're killing them, why the fuck would they not start a revolution? This is why I don't like this story. There's so many goddamn holes in it. How the hell can any clone stay loyal to the Empire if the Empire wants to kill them? And also, another question, why the fuck are the clone commandos staying so loyal? Like, they do realise they're next, right? Like, how the hell can you not realise that? As soon as they get rid of the normal clones, clone commandos are going to be very dangerous. So, what protects them? And why do they still stay loyal? They haven't explained any of this. And we're at episode 14. So, it's just dumb writing, man. So, we go back to the Bad Batch, who are still on that beach planet, and they're pretty much settling in. They're all happy, blah, 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 blah. And when the mayor of the beach planet thing starts to talk about trying to stay longer or staying there permanently, Hunter says that's not really a soldier thing to set down roots. He wants to concentrate on finding somewhere else, but he's not really sure because most of the Bad Batch is happy. And there you go. We then get another scene where we see Echo land with the survivors. With the rescued clones. The clones tell them what's happened to them, how they were arrested by the Empire on ridiculous charges, and that all they were told was they were going to go to a prison facility to do their time, basically. Also, Senator Chuchi is there, and she's somehow helping these clone resistance fighters. I just really think this doesn't make sense. Why would Senator Chuchi not reveal this to the Senate? Like, why are you not telling the Senate the Emperor is killing the clone army? Or sending them somewhere to be butchered or whatever? Like, that's a pretty big thing to throw at the Emperor. But again, they haven't even explained how the Senate works in the Empire. And we're on episode 14. And we've had fucking... Andor. We've had Andor. Both these shows have still not explained how the Imperial Senate works. It's fucking annoying. 2 shows not explained a goddamn thing about the Empire and how it works or how the Senate works. Any of it. It's pissing me off. So, Echo says he knows who to go to find out, to get this downloaded information fixed. So he grabs a ship and runs off to pretty much find the Bad Batch. We go back to the beach planet where Omega is getting flight lessons from Tech, from Tech, and Tech is petrified because Omega is apparently a crazy pilot. Fine. And then Echo gets there. Omega is happy as fuck about that. They both land their ships. Omega gives Echo a massive hug, and Echo tells Tech he needs him to to find out what he's downloaded from the Imperial shuttle. We then go back to the science facility where Crosshair manages to kill a couple of stormtroopers, gets the Doctor's key card, opens the door, and runs off to send a message to the Bad Batch. It kills a bunch more stormtroopers and sends a message warning the Bad Batch about Hemlock and the fact that he wants Omega and how they should pretty much find somewhere to hide, basically. Even though they've already found somewhere to hide. And again, this is another problem with Disney Star Wars. We seem to be finding little places in the galaxy the Empire doesn't seem to be, because we need to know that why. I just think it's just... Never mind, I'll go into that some other time. But anyway, he sends the message. The Clone Commando seals the room and then puts some toxins in the room to knock out Crosshair, and then Hemlock gets in there, and apparently he's become immune to this toxin, so he doesn't get affected by it. They put Crosshair back into a torture room, and they torture the fuck out of him to find out information. But he still won't talk, so Hemlock says, up the dose of this torture drug, and then we get the droid putting a needle in his neck and putting some chemicals in his body to torture him, basically. And then the final scene is Tech telling the team that Crosshair's been captured and Crosshair's turned on the Empire and they need to rescue him, basically. He's warned them about Omega being that threat, and Hunter doesn't really know what to do because this could be a trap set by Crosshair, or he could actually need his help. but he has to think of his team, and he definitely has to think of Omega, because again, we all have to think about Omega, and that's how the episode ends. So I'm just gonna use this opportunity to say, Omega is obviously a clone Jedi, right? I'm just gonna put that out there. She's obviously a Jedi. She's obviously got the Force in her, because why else would the Empire really be gunning for her? I think Omega has something to do with Palpatine's cloning stuff. Maybe they're trying to figure out a way to clone more Jedi. More Jedi bodies, so Palpatine can jump into new bodies, so they can pretty much explain the crap from, Rise of Skywalker. Even though that's still a stupid fucking story and still a stupid fucking movie. And this is just not going to help at all. So, a 6 out of 10 from me. Again, I enjoyed the Imperial stuff. I enjoyed the clone stuff at the beginning. Everything else in this episode, it was okay. And that's where I'm going to leave it. If you like this video, give it a like. If you dislike this video, give it a dislike. And if you enjoy my content, do think about subscribing. Entertainment World Soldier. Bye.